guys. So soon, right? Yeah, I'll admit I'm up a little bit earlier than I should be, but kind of just wanted to come on and get this done. So I said to you guys last time that I'd come back on and do the dangerous question of the other side of what's happening, which is Gulf and Smith. So I'm back here with those readings now. First thing I want to say is this is what the cards say. Okay, I've got nothing against Smith, and I've done my best to you know, look at everything in a non-biased manner as well. But yeah, I'm not exactly a fan of Smith, meaning like I don't know everything about Smith, or I don't know half as much about Smith as I know about Gulf and Mew and Tool even. So yeah, it's like there's some things that if I'd had more information on, I might have been able to get more clarification on, but because I don't. So I've just done basic, you know, very basic understanding of what the cards say. And if any of you can add to it, then by all means. Anyway, so, hi there, how are you? You probably can't understand me at all, can you? Sorika, hello. Anyway, yes, also about the last video, because it was so phenomenal, the reading, etc., I am going to try my hardest to get everything down in writing, and I will try and share that as soon as possible. You know, it takes a lot of time. I don't know. I can't even give you an estimation of when it will be done by, because I don't know when I'll get the time. But I'll try. I will try my hardest to get it all written out for you. Re-watch the video and copy all the words I say. Yeah, so in the meantime, let's get on with this. So I think the time I've come on today is probably too late for a lot of people, or too early, but you'll watch it later anyway, so I'm just going to do it because this is when I've got the time, okay? Alright, let's do this. So, hang on, I've got to turn the camera around. Okay. So you'll notice this time that I put the tarot cards up as well. Since last time, you know, the masking tape did no damage, I thought, well, why not? It's easier to have everything up visible for everyone so they can reference between the cards as they like. I also noticed it was a little bit muffled when I put the phone down here. I hope that's not as bad as it was now. I tried to sort of relieve it a little bit, but it could still be a little bit muffled, but you can still hear me. You can hear me over it anyway, or at least I could when I rewatch the video. Probably have to turn it up full volume or something, but you can hear me. Alright, so let's get started. So the question I asked for this particular reading was Smith's current feelings about Gulf. Now these questions were asked on the 30th of March. It's a while back now. So things could have changed since then even, but at the time, on the day, this is the result I got. So we're just going to go with it. So, Smith's current feelings about Gulf. So the first card we have is the Tower. sudden change, a storm, disaster, upheaval, chaos, unexpected revelations, necessity of disaster to lead to awakening, power of release, and sudden insight. Now, we also, of course, are going to do the past, present, future system, which is also going to come down to these cards too. You'll notice there's 6 of these. Usually I only have 3, 1 for each card, but because I was doing Smith, and like I said, I don't know that a whole lot about him, I wanted 3 extra cards for a bit more clarification. So that's why we've got 6 cards down here. Anyway, so the Tower. The Tower is in the past position. And we have 10 of Cups here. Now, 10 of Cups is really good for a love reading, but I don't know if we should count this as a love reading because we don't know if there's love there. The 10 of Cups can be platonic as well. The 10 of Cups can simply mean full potential. It can mean something has got to its full potential. Like if you were to get the 10 of Cups in a reading for work, it would mean that something about you reaching your full potential for the goal you have. So yeah, I wouldn't. I know that everybody is more familiar with the 10 of Cups description or meaning for love. Meaning, you know, happy family, having kids together, family together, living with your family, and happiness. Couldn't be happier, all that stuff, because, you know, there's kids, there's a man and a woman, they're very happy, rejoicing. Yeah, that's what it means generally in a love reading. But like I said, I'm not sure if we should call this a love reading. So don't think that it can only mean one thing. For example, on the actual card, true fulfillment and familial bliss, harmonious relationships, which can be any relationships, friendship is a relationship, achievement of personal dreams, like I said, could be for work, total support, inner joy within a loving family. It can also be that you have a very supportive, loving family around you as well. And lastly, this card, which is in the future position, 5 of Swords. A period marked by conflict and tension, fallouts of disputes, the cost of victory at the expense of others, hinting at deceit and unfair tactics. It doesn't look so good in the future, but anyway, let's get on with this. So, in summary, there was a Tower moment in the past regarding Smith and VisaVersa. In the present, he seems to think everything is okay, in the best state it can possibly be between them, and full potential, but in the future there is still possibly going to be more trouble that maybe he doesn't even, you know, see coming as well. So yeah, when I first saw the Tower, straight away I thought, you know, relationship no good. But when I looked at it all in hindsight, this Tower moment could possibly be a specific moment that's already happened. Anyway, as I go on with the reading, I think I brought it up in the reading, so I won't explain it now because it might get too confusing. So let's get on to the clarifier cards here. So we have Book, Coffin, Stork. And Book can be secrets, hidden knowledge, things yet to be revealed. Coffin, usually endings of something, or even just held back from something, not able to move on. Change and transition, moving forward. So from 3 cards I get secrets ending or being revealed, and then moving forward. Secrets ending, moving forward, right? So then we have key, bouquet, and incense burner. Key can be revelation, unlocking something important, can be fate, can just be the key, like this is the key, the ticket to success or to whatever your goal is. Bouquet, happiness, appreciation, beauty, potential for growth, small gifts, sort of what bouquet means. Incense burner, of course, you might remember from tools reading, because we had it a lot. Cleaning, clearing, dispersing, saying and banishing negative or unwanted energies. Not saying, sorry, saging. The smoke and fume card can also point to spiritual awakening, purification, the release of old patterns to make way for new ones. So that's that card. So put them together. The key to happiness and potential growth is to purify and clear your life of either the idea of this relationship, of being more than friends, I guess, or of secrets and hidden knowledge. That's what I said at first. I think I might have forgotten to go back and check that. Anyway, things will make sense as we go along, guys. If something doesn't fit, it's going to fit in the end. Summary. The key to happiness and potential growth is to reveal and cleanse your life of secrets, hidden knowledge, by revealing or ending them, and then moving on to a fresh start. Okay, so now we're going to look at these cards a little bit more closely. We're going to go this way. So, book, coffin. Book, coffin together. The combination of book, coffin can be painful truth, ending one's education, and other things like, none of those, but skeletons in the closet even. So really secrets. Secrets really stands out to me. So secrets ending, secrets being revealed, and coffin stalk, putting an end to transformation, running away from the past, failure to move on, failure to change. So that's actually, coffin and stalk together means not moving on, means you're stuck here. And then book and stalk. The combination of book and stalk is knowledge transforms, or knowledge about transition, knowledge about moving on. Yeah, that. So in summary, painful truth makes it hard for them, or Smith and VisaVersa, to move on from the past, and results in failure to change because they don't know how to move on from the past, or they have some kind of knowledge of how they could move on, transition, but are still held back by knowledge or secrets in their past. Okay. Down here we have key bouquet. Key and bouquet combination is like opening up to compliments, opening up to social life, important gifts, increasing self-worth, looks being very important. Yeah. Bouquet and incense burner together can be like cleaning out social circles, or even cleaning out gifts from people that you may have to remove from your social circle. So like getting rid of all things that to do with people that you feel you need to rid yourself of, or things you need to rid yourself of. And which will allow for a fresh start. It could even be something like, because it's small gifts, it could mean a gift of perfume even, because incense burner, it also is a very strong card for the sense of smell. And incense burner can also mean like spiritual growth, contemplation, potential for healing or transformation, potentially involving a religious or spiritual journey or a time of introspection as well. key and burner. The unlocking of hidden knowledge. Unlocking of hidden knowledge, like the eye here. See what the eyes don't see. Or opportunities through a spiritual path. Whoops. Oh, that's the first time that's happened. Okay. The combination can also mean that the person needs to do some inner work or self-reflection to find the key to unlocking their potential or achieving their goals. So in summary, open themselves up to feedback and compliments and praise from fans and shippers perhaps, about them being a couple. This is Smith obviously. But now, or possibly Golf as well, but now they wish to cleanse themselves of that and have a fresh start. Since we're talking about Smith here, maybe he might even consider getting ordained and studying the Dharma or something. I say that because it said potentially involving a religious or spiritual journey or time of introspection. So that was the first thing that came to my mind, you know, knowing what they do over there. Possibly, if he was to go like to the extremes to cleanse himself of what's going on. And then the key to that cleansing purification action being successful, whatever it is in the end, would be for them to reveal or possibly even burn. I thought because of the incense burner, it's like burn. So reveal or burn any secrets or hidden knowledge by means of doing inner work or self-reflection to find the key to unlocking their potential or achieving their goals. Now going vertically, so here now we can go past, present, future, past, present, future. So past, book and key, revealing secrets and hidden knowledge, which is what possibly opened up trouble, the tower moment. This is where I come in and I say what I think the tower moment was. Finding out the truth, education, open up important discovery. Yeah, no. So the book and the key, secrets, revealing secrets and hidden knowledge. I think it's more hidden knowledge or hidden news. And the tower moment was, does everybody remember when Smith spilt about Golf's job in Japan before it was officially announced? Possibly that's the tower moment that we're talking about here, because when he did do that, there was trouble. As we go on, coffin bouquet, ending one's social life, loss of gratitude, dead flowers, declining an invitation. So these two cards go with the Ten of Cups. So chances are that Smith didn't think it was that big of a deal and sort of thought he was fine with Golf and with fans. But as we know, a lot of fans did not appreciate what he did, how he spilt the information about Golf's job that hadn't been officially announced yet. A lot of fans got upset about it. A lot of fans kind of, really had a go at him for it. So that's possibly what that is linking to. Could also be linking to this card still, but since we're going like this, I think, yeah, it's more like I think Smith didn't think it was such a big deal at first. And then stalk burner, moving on and clearing the air, purification, the release of old patterns to make way for new ones, which goes with this card in the future, which says conflict, disagreements, competition, defeat, winning at all costs, sneakiness, bullies, theft, abusive relationships. Doesn't exactly match straight off, but sort of you sort of can see why it's there as we go on. So let's go back. So revealing secrets or hidden knowledge is what causes or caused trouble in the past, the Tower. This ended something in regards to golf. Makes me think of, yeah, when he spilt the news about the new project in Japan before it was officially announced. And a lot of fans were angry or upset with him about it. And he needs to move on, be more careful in the future, release old patterns and make way for new ones. So he needs to possibly learn how to be more tactful about revealing things. It's very important to wait for the official announcement. Like I can remember so many times when, not so much golf, but Mew, when he was doing work, he would always say, more so to remind himself, I think, than us, that he couldn't say anything until there was an official announcement for his jobs or he would get in trouble. So yes, it's very important, and it was really quite a big deal that Smith had revealed something before it was time. So yes, it did cause a Tower moment. If that's the Tower moment they're talking about. The other possibility is, I mentioned in the last live that another reader had said that they possibly had a bit of a fight in the past. That could have been a Tower moment too, something a little bit more personal that we don't even know about. Either way, there was a Tower moment. Smith thinks it's all in the past and it's all done, and he's already trying to move on, but in the future there's still trouble, possibly because of this sort of attitude he has, or did have. Okay, and then lastly with these cards, we're going to mirror them. Now, all we have to really do, because we've already done every other combination, is go book incense, secrets maybe, clean up secrets or burn secrets by revealing the truth, knowledge, cleanse, purify, education, about spirituality, inner self, doing inner work. It can be all those things. And the other way, stalk key. Change is key. Change is key. The opening up to change and transformation, because change is key. That's that basic message of that one. So the key to success in staying friends or to their relationship is to do some inner work, is for Smith to do some inner work on himself and to be more careful about revealing things. And also in the process, maybe get rid of any secrets. So there's nothing to tell. So maybe for example, Smith could tell Golf to be more careful about what he tells him, just so it doesn't happen again, something like that. And in fact, when I say that, in Golf's part of this reading, you'll see he also seems to get that message as well. All right, so that was how does sorry, I'm losing my words. That was how Smith felt about Golf on the 30th of March, right? Possibly still feels, possibly it's all in the past now, because what is it now? It's the 9th today. So, yes. Now, to move on to Golf's reading. Now, you're going to see that some of these cards are actually going to stay put. First of all, this card, like I said, they both had the Tower, but notice this was in the past for Smith. We're putting it into the present for Golf. It was in the present position for Golf, but of course present was on the 30th of March, so possibly it's in the past now. But yeah, we're doing it as I had the reading. So that's it. Because as you know, and I've said many times, it's easier to explain the Lenormand cards in hindsight. Although as I get better, I'm starting to, you know, feel like I can do it a bit more on the spot, but still not quite there. I'm still not confident enough to really do it. But when I do my live readings, you know, that's when I get the practice. So the more I do of that, the more practice I'll get. Anyway, so that's the 3 tarot cards there for Gulf. And switching around the other cards now. So firstly we have this one. Oh, actually I should have started from the bottom. Oh well. Switch this round. Book comes down here. See, they both had similar cards. Not all the same cards, but similar cards. That one there. Stork comes down here. And that really sort of cements the idea that they're both getting the same sort of message. There. And where are we? Nice. Interesting too, Gulf doesn't have coffin, so that takes away the idea that it's something about him ending things with Mew for good or anything like that as well. Just wanted to say that, because it wasn't in Gulf's reading. Pretty sure I'm getting this done quicker than I did last time, but you guys be the judge. Can't wait till I get the magnet adhesive and everything so I can do this better. Anyway, okay, so they're the cards for Gulf. So the question was the same as I said for Smith, which was, what are Gulf's current feelings towards Smith? And this was asked on the 30th of March. So for Gulf's current feelings about Smith on the 30th of March, we have 5 of Pentacles, or coins, which is times of hardship, financial loss, feeling isolated, insecurity, challenges such as poverty, worry, a sense of lack and need. Possibly Gulf felt like this is how Smith felt, maybe. Tower, sudden change. Well, I just read it out earlier. You know what Tower means. Upheaval, chaos, unexpected revelations, storm, disaster, all that. So Gulf also had the Tower, and as I said before, it was in the current position instead of the past. And the 3rd card. Now this one might make some people like think that, oh, there's a chance, but to me, okay, I'll just read out the keys. Creativity, romantic charm, knight in shining armor, beauty, follow the heart, grand romantic gestures, imagination. To me, imagination stands out the most in that one. And that's in the future. So, yeah. So anyway, let's let's do the summary. So in the past, Gulf was feeling worried, possibly insecure about the idea of being shipped with Smith by fans, maybe. May have already caused him trouble and hardship. My story came to mind of like, I know that's imagination, that's my imagination, but like, just imagine, even if he didn't have to explain it to Mew, if he had to explain it to someone else, even if it wasn't a lover as such, if he had to keep explaining it to like his manager or something, that there really wasn't stuff going on between him and Smith, but the way that the shippers kept saying that there was something, so he had to keep clearing his name, I suppose, and that would have been at least annoying for him. And what happened is still affecting, or maybe it's like Smith thinks it's all done and finished, like I said in the last reading. He made a mistake, he's sorry, he's moved on, but Gulf is still having to deal with the consequences of the aftermath. And then the third couple, imagination straight away made me think like either like the shipper's imagination keeps happening in the future, or maybe even they do become an imaginary couple. Not necessarily because they are in a BL together or anything, but just because like if they work together, if they're in any show together, the shippers are still going to ship them. Shippers are shippers, right? So whether they're actually meant to portray or play a couple on screen or not, they will probably get shipped anyway. So that's where imagination came in, where I thought, well, maybe Gulf, because this is Gulf feeling towards Smith, maybe he'll use his sort of knowledge in that area from what he used to do with Mew and stuff. He'll use that to his advantage of what to do and what to not do to keep things under control and to keep things in the imaginary couple category. So like he'll be able to control to an extent how much shippers really get into the couple. Maybe. Anyway, moving on. So stars, mice, letter. Stars, mice, letter. So stars and mice worry about one's future, slow decline in hope, fame which causes stress. That's a big one, isn't it? Fame that causes stress, or manifesting stress, dreaming of something deteriorating. So there's a few meanings there. And then mice and letter. Just think about a mice eating up a letter, basically. So that it can be a corrupt conversation, decaying communication, loss of a letter, spoiling a postcard, steal from a delivery man, diminishing the information, destroying the information, basically. Or at least making it misinformation. And stars and letter, desiring communication, prayer, award, fan mail, that's a big one, fan mail. Or fan mail, it could even be like fan feedback, just fans commenting in general on social media, because that's in written form as well. Asking for proof, letter to a celebrity, message to a celebrity, as I said, concert schedule, improving contact with someone. So that's that top row. That's right, isn't it? Yeah. Sorry, lost myself for a minute there. So the summary of that is Gulf had hope for the remaining friends, possibly not being shipped. seriously and it affecting their work, you know, the shipping affecting their working together again. Maybe currently he is not so hopeful about being able to keep going as they are as friends without the drama, if that makes sense. And after the period of less contact, for whatever reason that was, maybe communication, maybe even the end of a contract, like what came to mind was the end of the contract for the Lenormand, perhaps, the Lenormand series he was in with him, with all the other cast members, for example. You know, maybe after that contract ended, they didn't have to be in such close contact and communication then for work. But in the future, he hopes for their communication or contact to improve, maybe another contract or working with him again, hoping for another contract or working with him again in another show perhaps. So that's why I said, yeah, like if he does end up going into another show, because this is with this card as well, and now going on to these bottom three cards. So Stork, Book, Bouquet. Stork and Book. Stork and Book can be like change of school, change of education, returning or proceeding with education, improving or increasing knowledge on something. Book and Bouquet can be praise over one's education, enjoying one's education, gift of a book, or learning from a designer, an expert, a talent to teach, or studying of makeup even, because of the beauty aspect of the bouquet. And then Stork and Bouquet, changes in social life, getting admiration for changes, makeovers, altering a self-image, change of color, transferring the traditional values. So in summary, maybe Gulf would like to see, because we're talking about how Gulf feels about Smith, remember? So maybe Gulf would like to see Smith learn and study more, or become more experienced. Maybe even teach him something himself about something, like the combination said, learning about makeup. Well, we all know Gat became Gat because Gulf learnt how to do makeup, so yeah, it's possible. I mean, it's a crazy idea, but it's possible. So maybe he could teach him a few pointers about makeup. But I get more, since Smith's reading seemed to be based on his spilling his mistake, spilling the news before it was time, maybe Gulf will give him some pointers about how he himself has learnt to be more reserved, able to keep things safe and hidden until it's time to reveal. He's kind of, I mean, let's face it, he's kind of become an expert at keeping secrets for the sake of his job, for the sake of his reputation, all sorts of things, hasn't he? So he would be the one to teach such things as well. And then, hang on, where am I? Save hidden. Yeah, so Book and Bouquet. And then maybe in the future, Stork and Bouquet, maybe in the future Smith will get praised and will be admired for learning his lesson, changing his ways and thinking before he speaks to fans and the media. So, maybe fans will actually admire him in the future for how quickly he learned his lesson and things like that. Now going vertically, Stars and Stork. Desire for transformation, positive transformation, change for the better, hoping for change, manifesting change. This all goes with the Five of Pentacles. That kind of pulls away from the idea that he thinks that Smith feels like this. This means that Gulf feels like this, and he is manifesting for things to be better. Or he was, I should say, because that's the past. So he was manifesting for things to be better because he was worried. He was worried about his future, financial loss, feeling insecure, etc. So, yeah, that was in the past. Mice book means little education or misinformation, like I said, misinformation earlier, deterioration of mental sharpness, steal what's hidden, spoil a diary, consume of knowledge, or take away knowledge. Now this made me think the Tower moment, right? He said it's in current. Golf has the Tower moment in current, and he's saying take away knowledge. I think that really fits. Taking away a secret, because it's not a secret anymore. Or it could even mean like Golf is currently like being very frugal about what he mentions to Smith and to others from now on, so that spilling is not as possible in the future. So taking away the, what would you call it, the privilege of knowledge. And then letter and bouquet. Letter and bouquet, communicating gratitude, communication in social circle, invitation, gift card, photographs, paintings, communicating your values, expressing your expectations. So because that comes in the form of the Knight of Cups, definitely I think if they are going to work together again, whether it be in a BL or just a normal show, Golf is going to be very careful about how they are portrayed, like what kind of image he puts out there with Smith. And I think he's also going to like really have a good talk, like communicate with his social inner circle and his staff, possibly, about what he expects. What he expects them to do, them to say, and, you know, how he expects things to be handled regarding the fans. I think that's what Golf would be like. If he was to go into the BL world again in particular, I think that's what he would be like. But even if he didn't go into the BL world again, I think even just going into another show with Smith, because there are shippers already who are very loud and proud, I'll add. Yeah, I think Golf is the kind of person who now, after all the life experience he's lived, he sees trouble coming and he tries to do everything he can to prevent it now. So, imaginary. I think he's going to make it very loud and clear that it is imaginary. He's going to communicate with as many people as he trusts, including fans possibly, about what he expects. Like, he'll probably, I don't think he'll say exactly, but may say along the lines of, you can ship us, but remember that we're imaginary, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. He would try and keep control of everything. This is what I get from the cards. Okay? This is me talking. This is my opinion of what I get from those cards. Moving on. Now, the mirrored cards. So, as I did last time, only have to match the corners in this case. So we have Stars Bouquet, dreaming for better situations, hoping for social situation, asking for gifts, manifesting someone with the same values as you, getting what you want because of your looks. And letter and stalk, we've got communication about transformation, creating a way forward. And because I really think this is focused in about work, not personal life, it definitely seems to hint to another show. And we already know that there's another show that Gulf has been secretly working on. What we don't know is if Smith is involved. So, yeah, take it as it comes. Let us talk. So, in summary, Gulf is hoping for things to improve regarding him and Smith. Maybe hoping fans will stop shipping and or complaining about Smith and him, or at least, do it in a reasonable manner. And then there will be talk about possibly working together again, another contract in the future, or communication will go back to normal. So if it's not to do with a work contract or doing a show, maybe just in their personal life, like after whatever this tower moment was. If it wasn't all to do with work, if it was actually something personal, then maybe their communication will go back to normal before the tower moment happened. I mean, they seemed happy enough when they were playing football together in that event the other day, so it's probably already been sorted, but go back to normal if he had to reduce it for a while. So also, like, going back to the idea that it was all about the spill as well. Let's say Gulf decides to lessen his communication with Smith in particular so that he prevents any secrets coming out, because right now he is still working on a secret project. He is still filming in Japan. He is still doing a lot of things that he's not straight up telling fans on the day. So possibly maybe he's not telling Smith now either, which means they're not in contact as much as they used to be, possibly. Or it could even just be because he's in Japan, And perhaps once Smith has learnt to be more careful, things can go back to normal, which is the letter to stalk, moving forward. Okay, so that's this reading for how Gulf was currently feeling about Smith on the 30th of March. Now, I did do an actual 9-card reading, so without the tarot cards involved. And the 9-box card reading that I did, I focused on love. I focused on if there's a chance, if there's a possibility that they can be more than friends. So I'll set that up so I can share that with you too. Let's do this right this time. So the tree is the... Still see everything yet. Tree. I feel like we're getting through the explanations of these a little faster than last time. Not sure if that's just me, although they weren't full 9-box readings, the 2 I just did, so that's possible. That's possibly why. What played a big part. This reading we're about to do could take a little longer. Oopsie. about that. Masking tape doesn't seem to be sticking as well today. Ugh. Is it going to hold out? Let's hope so. I mean, I've got plenty of other tape, but just annoying, you know, having to tape it all back up again. Key. Where's the key gone? There it is. So you'll notice hard is in the middle. I'll just explain. So the other nine box card readings I did in the last live had the man in the middle. That's because that's the basic way to do a reading for someone. But in this case, this reading is not just for one person. This reading was about both of them together. So sort of the heart of the issue was what I was going for, so that's why I've put the heart in the middle, because you can do that. You can choose a specific card for the topic. So in this case we have heart. Right, okay, there we go. Now, so the, hang on, can you guys see that? Yes. Okay. So the exact question was, is there a chance of more than friendship between Gulf and Smith? So we have anchor, market, key, rider, heart, lily, star, house, tree. Anchor can mean like long-term security or stability. Market is work, obviously, or place of work, place of occupation, can also be profession, craft, or career. Key, it's the key, the revelation, something important, fate. Rider brings news and messages, or arrives very quickly because he's on a horse. Heart. Heart is love, passion, true feelings. It can also be charity, familial love, any kind of love, really. Anything that you associate with love. This is the card. And lily. This lily can be wisdom, maturity, strength. Sometimes it can be sexual, but I don't use this card for sexual because I have another card for that, as you all know. So yeah, I don't do that one. When you have another card that tells you specifically for that, you take it off of any other card that can possibly point to it. And stars. Stars is hopes, dreams, destiny, manifesting, wishing, hoping. House is home, stability, personal life, sometimes family. 9 is like family, ancestry, health, growth, long term, like standing firm like a tree that's been there for 100 years, like. Okay, so moving on. So like in the other readings, the first step we're going to do is looking at the 4 corners, the overall situation. So the overall situation of the heart is the anchor, the key, the stars, and the tree. So as a story, their friendship or relationship remains stable. as long as they stay open to guidance or destiny, what fate has in store for them, stars, and keeps pursuing, and they both keep pursuing their individual growth long term. Mirrored cards, anchor and stars. Is that right? I did that wrong. Oh, whoops. Why did I do it like that, I wonder? Alright, so anchor and tree then. So anchor is like stability, tree, family, growth, long term. So long-term stability. Long-term stability. Just for the sake of it, anchor and stars. Oh no, I'm going to do that later anyway, so it doesn't matter. And key and stars. So the key to their friendship is to follow what I just said before. To follow guidance and destiny, what fate has in store. So the key is what's important. Don't lose sight of what's important. In this case, for their friendship, it would be that. I strongly felt from this reading that it was they need to remember, that they're working together. When they're working together, they need to be professional, and when they're just being friends, they need to be clear with each other on just being friends, and follow that. Especially if fate and destiny does not plan for them to be more. One particular couple has already done something that possibly was not meant to happen, and they're kind of suffering the consequences for it. So it wouldn't be nice for another couple to follow in their footsteps, let's just say. Yes, okay, so Gulf and Smith are okay as long as they don't lose sight of what is the most important to them, which is their friendship. So they must both believe in their friendship. When things go wrong, when they have a fight or outside influence gets to them or affects them, while they recover from such times, they must be patient, give each other time to cool off, and understand why the other is upset or affected, and why it may take a long time for them to heal. That's what I wrote. Now, moving on to past, present, future. So past, we have anchor, rider, stars. Anchor and rider, message of satisfaction, achieving goals, expected arrival, consistent contact, staying visitors. Rider, stars, happy news, news from a well-known person, visit from someone you admire, psychic messages. Now, psychic messages was like, that really hit me when I heard that, because then again, this thing about the key, I don't usually focus on destiny and fate, but because psychic messages came out, that's what made me think, the key. The key must be talking about destiny and fate. And then anchor and stars. So anchor and stars, holding on to hope, strong faith, success which lasts, keeping the same goals, dreams and visions, not losing sight of what is important to you. In summary, in the past, they both have kept consistent contact and enjoyed the conversations and activities that they have done together as friends. And remembering to put their friendship first and not to do anything that could burden or damage their friendship, because that's what matters the most to both of them. Simply put. Then present. Moving on to present, we have market, heart, house. Market, house. Pretty easy. I mean, I think you could even tell me what that means. It means you love your job. You love your job, your occupation. You love a craft you can do. You love a skill, profession, career. Heart, house. Loving family. Love for the familiar. Homebody, caring about your home. Attracted to someone because of their home. Feeling comfortable, feeling safe. You are my home comes to mind. Just because of golf. Market house. Market house is also pretty simple. It's like work from home. It's like your work and your house combined. So work from home, your work is your comfort zone, so your work becomes your comfort zone. You feel at home at work. Or, if it's negative, work invades your private life. Or possibly even like, you could say like what golf is doing right now, living at work. So like how he's gone overseas and he has to temporarily live away from home for the sake of his work. So in summary, both of them love their job. They may even share a love for other things like acting, singing, music in general, humor, football, etc., which allows them to feel safe and comfortable and or at home when working together. But work has started invading private life in two possible ways. The rumours and gossip from fans who ship them together has made them both more alert and guarded about being seen together, possibly, and two, is the second way is particularly in Golf's case, like I said earlier, he has to focus more on work than private life, such as working overseas that involves living overseas temporarily and possibly also having to reduce contact and or communication during this time with Smith and anyone else for that matter, as a prevention for spilling or any more leaks. Okay, so that's that. And then future cards. We have key, lily, tree. So key and lily can be like virtue and wisdom opens new experiences. Virtue and wisdom opens new experiences. Or it can be something like released with time, which basically makes me jump straight back to the announcement. So released with time, like take your time to release things in the future. And it can also mean opening up to an elder. So talking to an elder about something as well. Lily tree can mean like inner strength, maturity. That maturity is your strength. It can also mean like same old, like lily and tree can mean like evergreen tree, Christmas tree, because they're always the same, you know, their leaves never change in that sense. So same old, it can mean. And key tree is like recovery, fate, family secret, releasing from restrictive family, finding patience, discovering why something is taking a long time. So yeah, the key to strength of their relationship or friendship is staying mature and professional about their situation, possibly even talking to or seeking guidance from an elder about the matter, if and when things get thrown out of proportion. So this could be not just about the spilling or leaking of information, but also about their relationship in general. For example, if that tarot reader that I mentioned in the last live was right about them having a fight, you know, it took a long time to get over it apparently, and it still seems there's it's not completely dispelled, like forgotten. There's still some aftermath of that, so maybe they can talk to someone, or one of them can talk to someone about that, if that's what it is. Then we go to weighing on his mind, or weighing on their mind in this case, weighing on their mind about love, or about their connection, about their friendship, about their relationship. So we have anchor, market or work, key. So market and anchor, basically like stable job, stable career, stable business. Market and key, being open to work, knowing that work leads to opportunities, work opens the door, or work lets in chances. So this is what's on their mind at the moment. They seem to think that work is the ticket. Work is the key to them being able to keep their friendship and work together, spend time together, etc. In summary, so what is weighing on both of their minds in this case would be the stability of their work and careers. So both of them are always thinking about the stability of their careers and their work, and they're also thinking on this side of what possibilities there are, what doors can be opened, what more opportunities there will be to work together in the future, because it's about them in this regard. And keeping their job stable is key to the harmony of their friendship relationship staying intact. Reality box. Reality cards. So we have Rider, Heart, Lily. Rider Heart can be a message from a loved one, or news from a loved one, progress in a relationship, messages which are highly emotional. Progress in a relationship, messages which are highly emotional. Again, for the two things that possibly caused trouble for them, I'm sure both of them spoke about it. Both things, if both happened, or one, if only one happened, they probably spoke about it, said I'm sorry, possibly got very emotional even, and maybe made progress in their relationship, in their friendship, because they made it past that and sort of started on the road to healing their friendship. Then Heart Lily. Heart Lily can be like relationship with an older person, love getting stronger with time, relationships becoming more peaceful, because Lily can also mean like peaceful, like growing old gracefully, sort of brings that sort of peaceful. And discreet. So summary, in reality, is if they have made consistent progress in their relationship, friendship, perhaps towards healing and returning back to how they were before the possible disagreement and or tower moment, sorry, that's still this, their friendship is getting stronger over time and becoming more peaceful.
and they have possibly received news from an elder or senior at work which has allowed them to remain consistent in strengthening their friendship. Now, even just from that, I think of seniors like what's his name? P. Great, is it? The one he was doing all the vlogs, and he had Gulf and Smith show up together. Shippers absolutely loved that. But that's possibly what also helped them to get back into good stead, because the tarot reader said that this fight sort of happened before that, so, or even during that actually. It was either before or during. So by the time that those vlogs were kind of finished, they would have already been on their way to healing, possibly, whatever damage had been done. And hidden influences: stars, house, tree. Star and house can mean trust in family, dreaming about home and family, being well known at home, wishing for a change of home, improving your comfort levels. House and tree can mean like home repairs, stability and health, blood relative, because of ancestry here, and long-lasting safety. And star tree can be recovery, healing, treatment, famous family member, famous ancestor, asking ancestors something, improving the foundations of a matter. So what I got from these three cards, both of them trust their family, and their family seem to get along really well, which adds to their comfort level together. But there are repairs that need to be made to keep that long-lasting safety for their families to stay friends. And recovering and healing from past drama and Tower moment will improve the foundation of their and their family's friendship. Okay, and now knighting cards. So first we have work with dreams, down like a chess knight piece. Work with dreams. Can mean manifestation, jobs they dream of doing, having as individuals and possibly together. Work with tree, long-lasting work and career, long-lasting health, strong business relationship. Lily anchor, here, lily anchor, dedication to morality, feeling protected and safe, lack of excitement for the foreseeable future, the way in the future as it is now. And lily and stars, that way. Trust in purity of intention, old dreams, clarity coming from peace of mind, calmness bringing better judgment. Now, house anchor, this way. Stability and family being restrained by tradition, lasting stability, feeling safe and secure, or dependable family members. House and key, conflict between tradition versus new, revelation about family, house keys, certainly trustworthy, planning a family. Rider tree, health news, visitor with roots in the past, message from a relative, sports outdoors, acting boring, that's it. And then rider in key, special delivery, important information, critical news, or significant person, like the person, the messenger is the key. in other words. So, in summary, work and stars. They both have dreams they want to fulfill and goals they want to achieve regarding their work and career, and hope to keep a strong friendship throughout their individual career journeys, which may include working together too. But for now they feel safe and secure, which is Lily and Anchor. For now they feel safe and secure, just as things are. There is no excitement coming for the foreseeable future. Now remember, this was done on the 30th, so things could have changed. And they have peace of mind and calmness about the lasting stability that they both feel they have achieved at work. And also having very supportive, lost my place. And also having very supportive and trustworthy, this way, trustworthy families. They will continue playing football together. I said that because of the mention of outdoor sports. So that's Ryder and Tree. They will continue playing football together, it looks like, but there is a significant person, possibly someone from their past, meaning Gulf's past, Smith's past, or even their family's past, who comes with critical or very important information that could affect the future of these two. Now, I'm not going to lie, that kind of made me think possible distant relative or something. Like the possibility that Gulf's family and Smith's family are like distant relatives somehow, or something like that. That was just the first thing that came to my mind, not the first thing I felt or anything, just the first thing I thought of when I saw the combination of cards. But really it could be anything. The person coming, the message being brought is not as important as the person who is bringing the message in this case. So, yeah, it could be a family member, it could be someone from the past, meaning if you're thinking, if it's somebody in Gulf's past, it could be Mew, for example. Or it could be someone from Smith's past, or anything. It could be anything. It could be anything, but it could is it. That is the reading. Wow. Now we got through that in 2 hours. Pretty good. Not sure if that was quicker than the last time or not, but I'm happy with that. So, for the one who asked, there you are. There's the answer. I know that the reading was a little bit old because it was from the 30th, but I think for what I got from the reading, it still relates for the most part. It still relates. So, yeah, I hope that sort of answered your question. I still hold on to the reading that I mentioned in the other live that some other reader did, possibly even 2 years ago, I think, in hindsight. Maybe it was done in 2023, actually, not last year. But whenever it was done, funnily enough, one of the cards that came out was the Knight of Cups, the same as what we got today, I'm pretty sure. So there was the reader said that Smith was going to play a very important role in Gulf's life, getting him through a hard, difficult time. He said Smith was going to be, or Gulf was going to be like this to Smith, one way or the other. He couldn't actually tell who was who. But one of them was going to be like was going to be like that knight in shining armor, that, you know, very chivalrous person. Kind of like, you know, the first thing I think of when I think chivalrous in this case is like the person who takes their jacket off for the other person. The person who, maybe even there's a muddy puddle, you know, the old-fashioned, there's a muddy puddle, they take the jacket off, put the jacket down so the person can walk over their jacket instead of get the shoes dirty, things like that. Not that that's anything people do these days, but, you know, that's the old sort of attitude towards chivalry. And, yeah, I think it's very possible that Smith may have already done that for Gulf when they were filming the show. If you remember, Gulf was like really struggling when they were filming because he was very like overworked at the time. If you remember, like can never forget the live he did with Nescafe that time where his hand was actually shaking. He was very skinny at the time. He wasn't eating that much. Everybody knew there was something wrong, but of course Gulf, the always smiling prince, didn't want to worry his fans, so he kept smiling, kept persevering, kept working hard, and luckily he didn't get too sick. Like unlike Mew, who seems to, it doesn't take too much to get him in the hospital, Gulf's a little bit more, what's the word? It seems like he's got a stronger immune system. Gulf has a bit of a stronger immune system. It takes a bit more to fully break him down. So yeah, they were saying that, and so possibly Smith was like really there for Gulf during the filming of the Lenormand, and that was his time of being the knight in shining armor. If it was meant to be Gulf for Smith, then may not have happened yet, or may have already happened, something we don't even know about. Either way, it doesn't seem like they are really meant to be anything more than friends. Very good friends, don't get me wrong there, very good friends. I'm not saying like they're only work acquaintances. They are very good friends, they have a very good connection. But like someone else who had a very good, promising, long-lasting friend connection, you know, they really shouldn't take it further than the limit. Because, yeah, that's when trouble starts. That's when things can become a whole different story, and, yeah, not worth it. Not worth it. Not worth jeopardizing or endangering or, endangering, they're not an animal, threatening. It's not worth threatening that beautiful friendship, what you already have, to just for the sake of your curiosity of if you could possibly be more. It's really not worth it. And I think the other two have proven it. It's not worth it. At least in Mew's case, it hasn't been worth it. Anyway, I'm shuffling here, but I haven't even decided if I am going to do anything. Somebody wanted me to do like a reading for MewGulf, and what I did this morning, not this morning, yesterday morning, what I did yesterday morning was, it was a reading for Mew and Tool, but it got Gulf involved. Gulf was like all the way through it. Like if you were here, you know what I'm talking about. It was mind-blowing just how everything was working out. Everything was like just falling into place. Crazy. And yeah, it wasn't intentional. It wasn't intentional for Gulf to be part of that reading, but he was. So in the end, I just thought, oh, well, that's a good roundabout way to end everything. Today, since somebody came to me specifically about a reading for MewGulf, I'll do MewGulf. Okay? So let's do MewGulf. remember, things could change. I always say this at the beginning because I never expect a reading like we got yesterday. Never. I never expect that to happen. So it always surprises me. And I don't want you guys to expect it either, you know. We have to expect that things can change. Things can change even overnight. So, yeah, let's see. Let's see what happens today with these cards. So, how are we going to do this? First of all, I think I should, before anything else, I should move the camera into a better position, shouldn't I? Because you can't even see where I'm putting the cards down, or I'm going to put the cards down right now. So, best if I do that. Best if I move things into a better position first. So let's put it over here the way we normally have it. I think I can leave those there, they're all right. Move this though. These down here. Okay. There we go. My little space is a bit more clear now. Alright, so let's start with Mew. How is Mew feeling about golf today? We'll just say today. We'll just say today. Since we only did it yesterday, it feels wrong to do the past, present, future. So hopefully we can just get one card today, please. Just one card from the deck. Unless I need a clarifier, of course. We just want one card. One card, please. How is Mew feeling about golf today? Need a really good shuffle, I think, these. They're so stiff, though, these cards. Oh, come on. No, didn't quite make it. Some of them did, not all of them. Or I'll do the other this way. The only problem I have with doing that is then lots of cards can be in reverse, which, you know, I always start with my cards all facing upright if I can. So if we get multiple cards in reverse, I mean, I suppose it's another way to do it for, you know, if it's meant to be upside down, it's meant to be upside down, but kind of makes me feel insecure doing it that way, so I don't do it often, but I did it that once just so that, you know, the cards are shuffled and you don't think like I'm fixing these cards, but because we have been getting a few repeats. So okay, so how is Mew feeling about golf today? How is Mew Superset feeling about Golf Kanawha today? It just seems to, saying the full name seems to be more effective for some reason. So how is Mew Superset feeling about Golf Kanawha today? Whoa. Okay. Interesting. The one card. We only need one card. Didn't I say that? So we got Temperance in reverse. Temperance in reverse. Now when I started reading it, I was like, oh, that's not so good. But there is something good here. So I'll just read them out to you so you know everything. Just show you the card, Temperance in reverse. So we've got imbalance, excess, extremes, overindulgence, alcoholism, or addiction to something. They're the bad ones. Then we have self-healing and realignment. Self-healing and realignment sounds more like what would be agreeing
with what we got yesterday, and I just can't see, I can't see Mew thinking that way about golf. Overindulgence, alcoholism, addiction, no. I don't think so. So, self-healing and realignment sounds like what we're after there. I feel tempted to do another card, I really do. No, I'm not going to. Let's do... I know. I'll use my other deck. It's up here, isn't it? I'll use my other deck for golf. Let's use my other deck for golf. Exciting, exciting. I get to use my other deck. Okay. Here we go. The Van Gogh deck. So, how is Golf Canawat feeling about Mew Superset? Whoa! Today. No, we're not taking this. Too many cards. How is Golf Canawat feeling about Mew Super... No, I'm not taking it. Come on, just let it fall, please. Enough with the flips. I don't want flips. Just let it fall. How is Golf Canawat feeling about Mew Superset today? How is Golf Canawat feeling about Mew Superset today? Wait. Okay, I'll take it. So we got Justice. Justice. I haven't, because this card doesn't say anything. I have to read it out to you from the book. But if you guys remember, not the last reading, but the reading before that, where I was doing a reading regarding what Golf was feeling about Mew, we also got Justice. Do you guys remember that? I remember telling you guys, and I think I used this deck as well. It was this deck I used. It was the last time I did this deck for golf. That seems fixed, doesn't it? No, it's not, guys. I promise you. It's not fixed. It's just a coincidence that this comes out again when I use this deck. Anyway, Justice. Justice, upright meaning. Justice symbolizes fairness, truth, and balance. It represents the pursuit of equality and clarity, emphasizing the importance of cause and effect in law and morality. This card advocates for just decisions and ethical actions. So this is the one where I said about the girl, she had her eyes closed. You might remember me saying something about that in the past. So Golf thinks Mew is... Last time it was like we were thinking that he wasn't. Like he was... It was something unfair. No, it couldn't have been. Couldn't have been, because that would have been reversed. I'm not sure, guys. I'm not sure. When it comes to something like that, I've already had it in a previous reading. I get all mixed up because I think, oh, what was it last time? But I can't remember. For what we're getting today, let's see. He says for Mew it was self-healing and realignment. For Golf it's justice. Kind of the same. I have heard that like the Temperance card is very similar to Justice. Let me see the Temperance card in here. Signifies the importance of balance, harmony, and moderation. Represents patience and sensitivity. That's upright. We got it in reverse. Stop right there. This card emphasizes the need for self-healing and realignment to restore harmony. Okay, and Justice. Harmony, equality, clarity, importance of cause and effect in law and morality. It does sound a bit like harmony, doesn't it? This card advocates for just decisions and ethical actions. So just decisions. I suppose Golf thinks that Mew is going to make the right decision in the end. He trusts Mew, that Mew knows what he's doing and will make the right decision in the end for what's best for him. Not what's best for Tool, not what's best for everyone else, not even what's best for Golf, but what's best for him. I think that's the kind of gist I'm getting, that he will make the right decision. And also possibly because of if you go based on what we got yesterday, how Mew was going to find a way to walk away without causing too much damage is kind of the idea we got from that reading. Also, justice. So I wonder if they've already talked between yesterday and today. It's a long stretch, but maybe. Who knows? Okay. You know what? Maybe I'll get another card for Golf. Just because that Justice card was like so hard for me to read for some reason. So let me just go for another card. The Hermit. So Golf is thinking about Mew, he's thinking the Hermit. The Hermit, which is oops, missed it. There it is. The Hermit symbolizes a deep dive into soul searching and introspection. It represents the quest for wisdom and truth, achieved through solitude and meditation. This card encourages independence, inner guidance, and heightened consciousness. That sounds about right, doesn't it, guys? So, justice to make the right decision by thinking hard about it, about what's best for him, soul searching, really diving deep into inner guidance, heightened consciousness, and being independent. He'll make the right decision there. Because with, let me just say something, with Mew and Golf, if they are twin flames, they're not meant to be a sort of codependent relationship. They're not meant to be relying on each other all the time. For them as twin flames, they're meant to be this is why they had to, if they are twin flames, this is why they had to separate and sort of grow as we go separately, because they needed to both mature and improve their independence enough to be able to come back together in the future with that. So, like, they'd be able to handle the relationship better because they will be independent. They'll be more independent than they were. And, yeah, so the Hermit was about finding that independence as well. Okay, so that was the tarot cards. Now let's get some clarifiers. Some clarifiers. We'll get a card each, just one Lenormand card for each tarot card. So what's this Temperance in reverse about for Mew? Mew feeling about Golf. Mew feeling about Golf. How is Mew feeling about Golf with the self-healing and realignment involved? Coming out then. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Before I pull the card, I just wanted to mention something that I completely was oblivious to me yesterday. Yesterday was the 8th. Yesterday was the 8th. That amazing reading that we had yesterday happened on the 8th. Wow. MG8. MG forever. Perfect. Okay. Now, pull card. Okay. Interesting. We got the bear for that one. And 2 cards for golf. 2 cards for golf. Card for justice and a card for the hermit, please. How is golf feeling about Mew with these cards? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whoa, what happened? Okay, that one. One more, please. I'll give you another chance to do it yourself, little deck. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whoa! No, that didn't fall. 6, 7, 8. Okay, so the cards we've got here. So for temperance in reverse, we got the bear. That really does fit, I think, because if we're looking at the self-healing realignment, the bear can mean boss. It can mean like Mew wants to become his own boss again, kind of. Or it can mean protection. It can mean he wants to protect himself as well. Or protect someone else as well. It could mean a few things, but it all fits. For the Justice card, we got the Spirit card. Now, does everybody remember the big explanation I gave in the last live about this card? When this card shows up, there's something important to pay attention to. The Spirit card is like the third eye chakra. It's like what the eyes cannot see, or what happens behind closed doors, or spiritual awakening, or just fate and destiny in general. And for this to come up with the Justice card, I would say that the Justice matter is about things that we can't see. Like I said, things that happen behind closed doors. So Golf thinks that Mew will make the right decision about what to do about his situation that people don't know about behind closed doors. That's the message I get. And here we have the Hermit. We've got the Fox. Now the Fox can mean work, which you could say that means like, since we're talking the Hermit, it could be like inner work. He has to do inner work, but usually that is not the kind of work that the Fox relates to. Plus, with this deck, I have a card solely for work, so really that kind of sheds the possibility of the Fox meaning work. So in this case, the Fox does mean the Fox, meaning deceit, trickery, deception, lies, being very strategic, being very strategic about getting around something, all those things. Because that came out for the Hermit, I would say that's kind of what he has to soul search about. He has to find himself again. He has to find his independence about all these things going on around him, or even self-deceit. You know, self-deceit is a thing as well. He could be deceiving himself about his situation. So yes, that fits as well. Okay, so I think that's pretty good. I'm pretty satisfied with that. So just in summary, what is Mew thinking about golf today? What is he thinking in regards to golf today? Self-healing and realignment. Pretty much goes with what we got yesterday. He's thinking about what's he going to do? What's he going to do to get back on track? And then golf. What's golf thinking about Mew? We have 2 cards for him. So he's thinking that Mew is going to make a just decision about what people are not aware of. He's going to make a just decision for himself. He's going to put himself first. And when he isolates or meditates or decides to go into the hermit mode and soul search, he's going to be thinking about all the lies, deception, trickery, strategies, and everything that's been happening around him or that he has been a part of, and how he can make everything right again with everyone involved, including himself, especially himself, I should say. Independence. Needs to come out independent after everything. Okay? Now, I will do the other cards as well, because it's always nice to get those oracle cards. Let me just put these cards away first. I'll put them away properly later. Alright, let's do these. Should do this first. Putting all my cards away in their boxes every time. Being very as careful as I can be with these powerful tools. Alright, there we go. Put that in the back as well. There we go. Right, now, these cards again. What will they tell us today? How is Mew feeling about golf today? How is Mew feeling about golf today? How is Mew Superset feeling about golf today? How is Mew Superset feeling about golf Kanawat today? By the way, I'm not planning to do a daily read. This just happens to be I was able to come on again this soon because my husband worked 2 days in a row. That is all. I'm not going to be able to do this every night. There's no way. We're going to start counting. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4. Oh, you know what? That's, yep, 2 cards. All right, I'll take it. I only saw the top one. I don't know what the second one says. What? Yeah, that one. I'll just because the way I did this, I'll just show you what the card is anyway. I'm not calling it an official pull. It's just what it says. My emotions for you are still there. Not sure if that was meant to be there or not, but I'll tell you anyway. Okay, now the 2 cards that did come out. So we have, I've been working on my self-love and self-worth, and you're so beautiful inside and out. Very fitting. Very fitting. I've been working on my self-love and self-worth. I hope that's true. I hope that's true for Mew, because he really needs that. He really needs that. As for you're so beautiful inside and out, well, yeah. We know that about golf, don't we? Okay. I better do the other ones first. Let's get some more details about these 2 cards. How is Mew Super Sid feeling about Golf Kanawat today? I've been working on my self-love and self-worth. You are so beautiful inside and out. Why are you feeling these things, Mew? Why are you feeling these things for golf today in particular? Have you been in touch with him already? Have you been looking at his photos? Or have you been focusing on yourself today with the self-love and self-worth? You seem to be, no, I shouldn't. We're talking about MewGulf, so I'll wait till we're finished before I say anything. Come on. How are you feeling? How are you feeling about golf? Whoa, okay. There's 1. Another 2, please. How are you feeling about golf today? How are you feeling about golf today? How are you feeling about Golf Kanawat today, Mew Super Sid? Whoa. No, that's way too many. That's way too many cards. Are they all? Yeah. Look at that, guys. That's how many. No way. No way. Let's try that again. 2 cards, please. 2 cards, please, little deck. 2 cards. How is Mew Super Sid feeling about Golf Kanawat today? We'll start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Did I just do it? Oh, I don't know if did I do an extra shuffle then? Never mind. Alright, let's go. So let's flip this one first. Okay, we've had that one before. Really? That's the one that was on top of the pile when the cards when I showed you the cards all came out the same way. That was on the top. Obviously was meant to see that one. Okay. Okay. So we have attention of others. This is the one I said we'd had before. I'm addicted to the attention of others. I love feeling wanted and needed. I don't feel whole without it. This feels like it connects to I've been working on my self-love and self-worth, because this could be what he feels, but what he needs to work on. He may need to start trying to detach himself from this idea of needing to get everyone's attention and feeling wanted and needed and not feeling whole without it. He may need to get away from that. Okay, and second card is nervous. Did I show you the first one? Attention to others. And nervous. You make me nervous. Even just thinking about you, I get nervous. I'm not sure what to say or how to act around you. Well, that could be also because of, like, if it really has been a long time since they've been in touch, since they've been in contact, since he's seen him even, just. Like, they could be talking, communicating, but haven't actually physically seen each other for a while, possibly. Which could have even just been because he's in Japan. You know, there's all these possibilities. I'm trying to cover it all for you guys. He might be a bit nervous. He might be a bit nervous about seeing him again. And also, like, how he's going to say what he needs to say. Because if you look back again at the reading we got yesterday, he has a lot to say. He has a lot to say about what is going to happen or what he wants to happen, about how he feels. So yeah, I can imagine nervous. Because remember, they possibly don't know how each other feel completely. They may know a little bit, but they may not know completely. So both of them could still have the fear of rejection, of pouring their hearts out, or, you know, confessing to the other and then completely being rejected. That's a thing. So yes, totally normal for him to be feeling nervous. And then third we have You're So Special, which definitely fits with You're So Beautiful Inside and Out. So, you're so special, you're truly divine, I've never felt energy like yours before, and I can't get enough. Very nice message. Okay. Gosh, I'm going to have my work cut out for me translating yesterday's message and today's message now. Might be a while before you guys see me again. Alright, let's go to golf. How is Golf Kanawat feeling about Mew Supersit today? How is Golf... Oh! Well, that's very fitting. I don't know what the other two underneath it are, but that's very fitting. I'll take them. So we got 3 cards. Wow! Oh, wow. Okay. First of all, the first card we got... I'm getting overwhelmed again. The first card we got was, I will be there by your side when you're ready. Now, we mentioned this a lot yesterday about the fact that if they are twin flames, they both have to be ready. They both have to be ready. Now, yesterday it seemed that Golf wasn't quite ready. There was hints of he still needed time. But this could still relate, because he could be saying, like, he trusts that he will be ready when Mew is ready. He trusts that they will be ready in unison. They will be ready when the other is ready. So that's why he's kind of saying, I will be there by your side when you're ready. True twin flame talk there. And the second card we got was, I can't stop thinking about your beauty. Now that really goes with the one that we pulled, Mew pulled for Golf. He said, what was it? You're beautiful inside and out. Mew was thinking that Golf is beautiful inside and out.
Golf thinks, I can't stop thinking about your beauty. They both see the beauty in each other. Very sweet. And then the third card. Now this, again, this is probably the one that really shook me for a second there. Because again, twin talk, twin flame talk. We both are working together in unison, even if you cannot see it yet. Wow. I mean, yeah. Can you get any more twin flame than that? I don't think so. That's like Golf knows. Golf can feel it. Golf can feel that they are working in unison. Possibly because of all the connections that they still have, that they may not even be responsible for. You know, all the coincidences that are happening. Thanks to One J Universe. So he's like, yeah, we're still syncing, we're still working together without us even knowing it, even if you can't see it yet. So, yeah, beautiful cards. They're all very beautiful cards. And let's get some details now. Not that we really need details, but it's fun. It's fun. It's fun to have a bit more writing on the cards. As well as because it can make it turn a bit. So it's always, never, like I said before, never expect it to be all lovey-dovey, because it can turn on you. You mustn't expect, like they always said, never expect, never be disappointed. So, can we get some details on what you're feeling today, Golf, about these 3 cards? You feel like you will be there when Mew is ready. You can't stop thinking about his beauty, and you can see that you are already working in sync, even if he can't see it yet. So what's all this about? Can we get some more details, please? Please, little deck, can I get 3 cards? Because there's 3 cards, so 3 cards, please. Whoa. Can we get some more details, please, of how Golf Kanawat is feeling about Mew Supersit today? Pretty, please? Sometimes I like being nice to the deck. Okay, I'll start counting then. 1. Oh! You flipped on me again. You flipped on me again, but I didn't see it, so... 1. See that? I didn't see it. I kept going. Came back up. Alright. Alright. I get it. I get the point. You want me to take that card. Alright. Another 2 cards, please. Another 2 cards. Okay, if you're going to be flippy about it, I feel like I can't protest. Alright, and 1 more, please. 1 more. I really do prefer if you drop it, but whatever. We'll go with whatever's more comfortable for you, cards. Alright, 1 more, please. Just 1 more card, please. 1, 2, oh, you flipped again, but 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, well, maybe I wasn't meant to get that flipped one. I'll take this one. I can't do it, guys. When it happens, I'm like, ugh. Come on, where are you? I'll keep you as an extra clarifier. Where are you? There.
isn't it? Yes. Okay. Alright, so the cards that we got. We have You're So Smart. Now that really fits for Mew, doesn't it? Your intellect really turns me on. You're so smart and I really enjoy our conversations. Wow. Beautiful. Showing out. Interesting. Okay, so this one says, I'm acting like I don't care about what's happened between us, but I do. I just want to appear unbothered. Also sounds very fitting, doesn't it? Now, I think this card could go both ways. This is meant to be what Golf is thinking about Mew. It uses the language I'm acting, which would imply that Golf is the one acting like he doesn't care about what happened between them, but he does, and just wants to appear unbothered. But it could also be the other way. It could also be that Mew is doing the same. But since it says I'm, probably best to stick with I'm. And the third one is You're my favorite. You're the person I want to call when something good or bad happens. The first thought when I have news to share. You're my person. Now we got this one. Was it the last time or was it the time before that? I know we've got it. We've had it before. I just can't remember if it was yesterday or not for that one. Little bit blank there. So, you're so smart. Showing out, you're my favorite. You're so smart probably does link with I will be there by your side when you're ready. It can link with that in the sense that Golf is saying that, you know, he thinks he's smart enough to know when the right time is. He trusts Mew that he will only approach at the right time. Showing out. I just want to appear unbothered. I can't stop thinking about your beauty. Well, not exactly a match, but can work together, those two cards. And we both are working together in unison, even if you cannot see it yet. You're my favorite. Yep. That pretty much fits with that. And the card that I was curious about. Okay. The card that I was curious about that flipped is it true? I heard you were dating someone. Is it true? Please tell me it isn't. Well, yeah, I think we're all on the same boat as you, Golf, if that's what you're thinking. Is it true? We've been asking that for how long now? Anyway, okay, so there you have it. Ugh. And just by chance, on the bottom of the deck is the It's On. We got this card. I think this card was yesterday. Where he says, I see you looking good and moving on. I don't care who you're talking to. I'm better. I will compete for you. No, just by chance, that was there again. Thought I'd point it out. Actually, just a minute. I know what some people are going to think, so I will shuffle.
I will do a quick shuffle before I put the cards away so that when I pull them out next time, they are shuffled. I don't know where any cards are. Make sure it's left the bottom. Yep, okay. There we go. I'm always thinking it. I'm always thinking like a critic. Because I'm just so used to being on the other side. All right. You know, people on the other side are saying I'm crazy and I'm the most delusional one guy right now because I believe so easily in all this stuff. Do you know how much time I have, continuously mulled over all this stuff in my head before I have let myself believe? Seriously, guys, I'm not that easy to fool. Because I am constantly thinking, what if, or what if it's this way, or what if it's that way. Yeah, okay, I'll admit the dog being a rabbit thing in the shop, I fell for that one pretty fast. But with pretty much everything else, I'll question it. I will question everything else. If I see a particular picture of two people being close, not saying any particular people, just two people being close, but there is not a clear picture of them actually touching each other, I'm going to wonder. I'm going to be like, well, what if it's just the camera angle? Straight away I will go there. Even with people I really want to see it happen with, I will be like, oh, but what if it's just the camera angle? Is there any other footage that can show me proof that they really did touch? Things like that. And then even like with MewGulf, even though I am totally convinced they're twin flames and everything, that's now. What happened in the past with all their work together, on screen and off, sometimes I'm still a little bit, skeptical about certain things. Not the whole thing, obviously, because there are real moments. There are real things that happen. We all know that. But there are times that I'm like, well, was it scripted or was it not? Sort of like that. So every time I watch a live of theirs, I will be looking. It's like I look at it with new eyes. I look at it with a new pair of eyes every time to see if I missed anything. To see if I missed anything obvious that could lead me to think in a different way. And it doesn't spoil it. It doesn't spoil me watching it. It just, I suppose it just makes me watch it more. Because I haven't found anything so far that's like really, really obvious, making the haters and solo stands and everyone sound correct. There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. Yeah, there's one or two occasions where maybe Mew was in a bad mood or Gulf was really tired. But, they still had, even behind the maybe not so smiley, happy, maybe that's too many, what was I saying? Smiley, happy facial expressions they were making. They were still on good terms. It was just that something as simple as like Gulf was really tired. But he was still comfortable with Mew. Or Mew was really sleepy, or maybe missed his lunch. We all know, like, he got cranky if he didn't get his lunch on time. Or had a really long day because he was really overworked a lot. Let's face it. or anything like that. Maybe just having a bad day. Maybe something went wrong that wasn't expected, and you know, he wasn't as happy, jolly, ready to joke around on a certain day. Maybe it could have been something like that. But I never got the impression that it was caused by each other. You know? So, anyway, enough of all that. Gosh, this has been, what, 3 hours? Right. I think that's enough for today. So I hope you guys enjoyed this live, enjoyed the earlier readings of Gulf and Smith, and also enjoyed the live reading I just did. Like I said, I will try my hardest as soon as possible to get yesterday's live in writing so that I can give it to people who need it, and you can translate it all to your own language. Also the same for today's live as well, but I'll do yesterday's first. While it was really nice today as well, and sort of played off yesterday was the real shocker. So I need to do yesterday first. Alright, I'll leave you guys to it then. Have a good day or night, depending where you are in the world. Always one Jai. And I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.